Good morning, guys, and welcome to today's episode of BB, brought to you, of course. Wait, by BB, what am I saying? Welcome to today's episode of Market Check, guys. Forgive me, it's a Friday. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm sure I'm not alone. I know yesterday's show felt a little bit like a Friday show, so we're going to try to bring that same energy for you guys here before we send you off for the weekend. But I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Max Tucker and Dr. Will's Outlook. I hope you have all had a fantastic week. We are being bred in the chop, raised in the chop. Hopefully we don't die in the chop before the trend begins again. But right now it is a very, very choppy market. But survive, guys, survive. Before we start cooking all of our alpha, before we start talking about the chop, talking about the possibility that this market is going to trend in the near future, we would appreciate and love if you guys could smash that like button for us. It is a Friday after all, and I'm sure you guys are maybe hopefully feeling a little bit more generous. Obviously, you guys pushed us all the way up to like 250 likes on the last video, so really appreciated that. And as I've continued to say, I mean, the growth of our channel is not just exclusive to us as analysts, but also you guys, the audience, consistently being here every single day. So I wanted to shout out you guys as well before we go live. And let's have another great show today. But welcome, guys. Like I said, I hope everybody's having a great start to the week. Bitcoin is, it's kind of like a murder house right now for chop. Every day I feel like I could have, maybe we're going to go to the range highs. Maybe we're going to go back to range lows. I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to kind of respecting our context and our market structure pivots, right? Like if Bitcoin breaks X, it's probably going back to range lows. If Bitcoin breaks above Y, it's probably going back to range highs. And as painful as that can be, because Bitcoin, we're so used to it being a high volatility asset, sometimes these ranges are part of the game too. Crypto is an asset class that loves to trend extremely hard, but it sometimes makes us forget that markets tend to range 80% of the time versus trending only 20%. So I wouldn't say love the chop, because you'll never love the chop. Chop sucks, but learn to embrace the chop, right? Learn how to trade around it and to still capitalize on the opportunities in this market, because there are some, right? I mean, even though Bitcoin's been effectively going sideways and bleeding, even there's been opportunity on chain for the last few weeks in selective sectors, selective markets, and a handful of exchange altcoins as well. And it feels wrong calling Pepe an exchange altcoin now, because it is primarily traded on exchanges, but I'm going to, for the sake of what I just said, in that, Pepe, at least among the altcoins that you can trade on exchanges, centralized exchanges, that is, looks better than most, right? So I mean, it really is kind of a market where, for me, you stick with the strong assets, you fade the weak assets. Until Bitcoin starts trending again, those are probably going to maintain their structure and their trend kind of within that context, if that makes sense. So we'll see what Bitcoin does, of course, but it's very choppy. It's in a range. It's going to be very choppy until we break out of that range. And I think, as we've been discussing, a lot of that potential clarity is coming next week, or maybe a week after that, when we have the QRA meeting with Janet Yellen coming back to see what she can do to pump markets before the election. We've gone over the importance of, obviously liquidity for one, but the vested interests in entities like Janet Yellen and the Fed to get Joe Biden reelected, because, it more or less means they get to keep their job. They probably will try to do something next week to pump the markets. As I said yesterday, we'll see how the markets respond to it. Equity markets are probably more important in that, at least in the immediate term reaction for that. But I imagine if the liquidity result is positive, that will undoubtedly have an eventual positive impact for things like Bitcoin and Ethereum. But welcome, guys. Happy Friday. Janet, maybe she comes and saves the market next week. But what are you guys thinking about this chop and this grind right now that we're currently seeing, not just in crypto, but also over in equity land?
Man, Tucker, go ahead. You were going to say
this has to be the most bullish chart that I can find. Like, look at this chart, man. Like,
it doesn't get much better.
It's insane. It's literally insane. Like Pepe on the weekly, like you had your little all-time high retest, little golden pocket retest. I mean, this is how you have to view the chart, man. Look at that. I mean, what do you think that's gonna do next? Like just trend. Just trend. I don't know. I think it looks great. Yeah, man, Bitcoin looks a little rough here, though. I'm not gonna lie. We talked about this the other day, though, right? Like, you're gonna come sweep these lows if you if you lose this little green box. But yeah, we'll see. It's either that's what I was drawing before, right? It's either a higher low or it's a lower high into a lower low down here. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
So when I came in this, oh, go ahead.
Were you talking to me, Tucker, or Will?
I don't know. Whoever.
Oh, it seemed like you were addressing somebody. So what were you gonna say? I don't know who you meant.
I guess you both tried to say something, and then I talked about Pepe. So whoever wants.
We're both trying to waffle right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Will, you can go ahead, man. Go for it.
I came in hot this morning, but I thought we were already live.
Will thought we were live, man. We got off to a little bit of a late start this morning.
Oh man, I was like, I started talking shit. We weren't even live.
He just came right for the Bears, man. Just like immediately, he just came right for the neck, and then we're like, we're not even live, Will. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of indifferent, honestly. Like I'm generally indifferent because whether Bitcoin goes and sweeps those lows that Tucker has drawn at like, upper 50s, or it moves up, like it doesn't change anything for me. If we move up from here, I'm exposed and I'm holding and I'm positioned. If we move down, it's not worth trying to sell anything to try to buy it back lower because I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Nobody does for sure. Like we all have our our biases, but nobody knows with 100% certainty if it will happen or not. And in my opinion, I'm just holding either way. Like I'm positioned for much, much higher. And actually, I just made a video about this. Like I literally it's coming out right after market check. Like it's probably one of the more crazy 20-minute videos I've ever made. It's called 10 minutes max, but it's 20 minutes, one bite, everybody knows the rules. But I mean, I just went into every single chart possible. Like, in my opinion, everything looks ready to go. It's really just kind of getting through, in my opinion, the remainder of this month. And we talked about the importance of breaking up. Oh man, that would be so long, Tucker. Okay, that's fine. I thought you were gonna,
No. We're gonna fit it to our bias. Yeah.
I mean, I have some charts I'll show you guys later in the show. After we presumably look at the lean hog futures for a 5-minute period of time or something like that. I'm certain we'll have to look at some lean hog futures. I like that, Tucker. That's nice, bro. That is
pretty good. It's pretty good.
I mean, that
2.618, bro.
You could have foreseen, Tucker.
Ooh.
Hey, dude, and look at the 1.618, the rejection there. Zoom in on that. Look at that.
That'd be brutal.
Dude, that'd be nice, though. You can learn just as much from a rejection as you can from a breakout. Because if the 1.618 is in play, then the 2.618 is
7.
Dude, that would be epic because Tommy would spoon feed us the short.
Yeah.
And it would definitely shake most people out of their positions. And then just to see it run up to like 160 would be absolutely epic.
Yeah.
But anyways, like I want to look at some other charts today too. Like I was looking at MicroStrategy. I was looking at Bitcoin adjusted for the M1 money supply. I don't want to spoil my video, but like in my opinion, Bitcoin miners look really good. Bitcoin itself doesn't look bad. It just looks choppy, and we're just in a range, right? Like be bullish at the range lows, be cautious at the range highs. But I also think that equities are going to rally out of this. I think that what you're seeing right now is a front running of sell in May, go away. And I think that we're going to rally out of this April gully pretty aggressively. Maybe not the first day of May, but I think that I'm expecting some constructive bullish price action after we get through this month. And maybe you could go to the monthly time frame for me just for a moment, Tucker, because I want to you might have to remove the fractal, sorry, or just hide it for a moment just so we can see the candles. we've had, is that 7 consecutive bullish months in a row, and this is breaking it up.
Yes.
In my opinion, if you were to move that, draw a horizontal line from our previous highest monthly close, which was like the 69K one from the open and the close, or sorry, from the close right there. As long as we close above that, in my opinion, we're going a lot higher. Like as long as we close April above that line, and then maybe we'll retest the lows early May. I think that you're set up for higher. I really do. I think that you're set up for higher. I think that's going to end up being a monthly order block right there. I think right now it just looks like kind of a little bearish candle, but that in my opinion will be a bullish monthly order block, and we'll probably come back and retest it months and months from now, and it'll just be a distant memory. But do you know what I mean when I say I think that's going to be a bullish monthly order block right there?
Yeah.
So like, could you draw that box, Tucker, and then like what
Yeah.
that would potentially look like? So like that is going to be an order block, and then presumably you would see like a couple really bullish candles, above this. And then, we could come back, retest it, and then move higher. Like this will end up being, and the reason, like the psychology behind why this works, like a market psychology perspective, is people are selling and shorting right here. So when we finally get above it, you come back and retest it. The assumption is like, okay, people can now get out of their shorts at break even. All those trapped sellers from right here that Tucker has highlighted in green. We come back and they'll get out of their positions, and it'll end up becoming support. So I think things look good. Honestly, I do. Like, I'm not really deterred by this chop. It's a little like annoying, right? Because we come on here every day and we have to talk about the markets, but we're not doing anything, which is a little annoying. But I do also think like this is important. Like, it's important to recognize that like we will have months like this time and time again throughout this bull market. This won't be the last indecision month or chop solidation month, and you want this. Like, this is good, because this is when I say reestablishing value, this is what I mean. Like, we've marked up aggressively, and we're now just holding above a really key high time frame monthly level, which is that white line that Tucker has drawn horizontally across the street across the screen. We have acceptance above this level as of right now, and we're just reestablishing value. That's it. Like, this is good.
This is exactly what I've been talking about, though, Max. Like, like nobody wanted to hear me when I said like, oh yeah, we're at 75K, we're holding up here. Like, this is the area you want to see hold, but now people are starting to see it and starting to see that there is a consolidation occurring up here in the higher time frames, and that they need to not fade, that you are above previous cycle high. This is exactly what I was talking about last time, and I was using the body candles because I use body candles. I don't use wicks. And I was talking about this is the area where you have to hold, and if you hold this area, your bears are absolutely fucked. I did want to address one point though here with XL. We don't have to address the rest. Why would it run up, you jokers? There is no money come from LOL. So let's go to NVIDIA real quick, Tucker.
Are you comment section attacking
what?
again, Will?
I'm educating. Let's go to NVIDIA real quick.
Wait. Hold up. We'll go to NVIDIA.
No. Let's go to extremes. Let's go to NVIDIA real quick. We don't have to explain Bitcoin.
All right, I got NVIDIA right here.
Let's go to extremes.
Easy.
Where is the money gonna come from? Go ahead and point out how high off the lows you are there on the monthly. Where is the money going to come from? I'm going to keep repeating that all day long. Where is the money going to come from? Where did it come from? Where did all this money come from? That's in NVIDIA. Where is the money going to come from for crypto? Crypto's much less market cap. All right. So it's going to come from your stocks. That's where it's going to come from. People made a lot of money in stocks, and they're looking to make more money.
See what
so
you guys did? You poked Will. See what happens when you poke Will? You ask questions like that, you see what happens?
I'm educating. I'm being nice. All right? I'm educating. This is education. That's what this is. So People make a lot of money in the stock market, billions upon billions. And they're like, oh, you know what? My portfolio is like, I don't know. I'm Elon Musk. I got $1 trillion. I'm gonna put like 5-10 billion into crypto. Small little 5-10 billion. And then another guy goes like, you know what? I'm gonna put like 2-3 billion. I've made about 20-30 billion this cycle. I'm gonna risk 2-3 billion in crypto, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then guess what? Then you get companies like, oh man, look at all this money flow over here. We can come over and take advantage of these people. Nike, it's time to spin up something in crypto. We're gonna go partner with Sui. And they're not partnered with Sui, by the way, but I'm just throwing it out there. All right, and then it just starts a rabbit hole of retard, like, well, no, I won't say that word, but it starts a rabbit hole of slow people, okay, coming in and just throwing
Okay.
money at the wall.
Well, that was a tornado. That was a tornado right there of bullishness. Thank you, Will. Thank you for that.
I hope everybody enjoyed the education section of this
I think they did, Will. I think they did. I mean, study 2-month all-time high breaks, right? Study.
Yeah, I just think it's like, I mean, even go to like the weekly time frame, Tucker. Like, let's go back and look at last bull market, okay? And then let's go to look at the 2016, 2017 one. Just zoom in on that a little bit. I mean, look at some of these weekly consolidations that happened. They were gnarly. To be frank, to be fair, I wasn't around trading Bitcoin during that time, so I guess I can't really say if they were gnarly, but I mean, I imagine they were gnarly. Look at the percentage, pullbacks that occurred all throughout that cycle.
I know. Let me just get the close here. All right, that's fine. It actually doesn't look that good, but whatever. Yeah, I know. I mean, this was the cycle for 30% pullbacks were like every single one.
I think they were more. They were like 35, I think, on average, weren't they?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Most of them were more than 30. And I mean, these took months, it was like you would top and then spend minimum 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks before you'd go on to make a new high. But it just kept going and going and going. As frustrating as it can be, the price action that we're seeing right now really is not all that uncommon. It's not. It's pretty typical. It's very, very typical. So,
look, at the end of the day, people need to study risk rotation, right? Risk aversion. The more and more money people make, the more and more risk people take. That's how it works. It goes hand in hand. The reason for this is people start to feel rich. When people start to feel rich, or the rich start to feel richer, and they're like, you know what? I just robbed all these people for all this money by making this shit product. I'm gonna go out here and blow a little bit on the craps table. Crypto is the craps table. That's what it is. It's where people are putting their money. They're coming in, they're throwing the dice. Like this is no joke. Like people think that their pocket change is not going to move crypto. It is absolutely going to move crypto. Their pocket change, their literal pocket change, money they could put in a barrel and burn in their backyard and it wouldn't affect their net worth, is going to move crypto in such a big way, people just lost the plot. We saw this in 2017. No stimulus, by the way, because I always hear, oh, well, the 2021 stimulus. No stimulus, right, in 2017. We saw this in every single cycle. The market is absolutely blown up. Stimulus does not matter. Where the money comes from does not matter. Is net liquidity, world liquidity, positive or not positive, right? And arguably, net liquidity, world liquidity is positive. It is what it is. Like we could say, oh, we had a stagnant month or blah blah blah. But think of everything like how the Fed has placed. The Fed gave everybody, in last year he gave everybody his playbook. He waits for consecutive months of data. Because you get a negative month doesn't mean that it's data. It's only data when it's consistent. Consistency derives of multiple months, possibly even a quarter, and of the same price action. We've had a positive Q1. it means we're going to have a positive year. Be positive, be happier in the market. If you don't want to be, enjoy poverty. All right. Because it's coming to your front door. That's where it's coming. And I'm not saying that by like from me. I'm saying that by deflation, by inflation, and so on and so forth. Deflation is actually more detrimental to people than inflation's bad, but deflation's even worse. A lot of people don't realize that. That's what causes people to cut your wages and everything else.
I do think, speaking of liquidity, it has been, more or less going sideways the last few months, but it is at an inflection point, right? Is it going to curl up? Is it going to drop lower? Do we have any catalysts potentially on the horizon that could increase global liquidity? I wonder.
Janet Yellen.
Yeah, a presidential election. That's what's going to do it. And here's the thing: the whole world places its bets on our elections. Not just us. The whole world places its bets on our elections.
Tommy, why do you think that Janet Yellen's going to prison? Didn't you say that?
He's just saying
I did say that yesterday.
Why do you think that?
I mean, I just kind of am of the opinion that the way they've boosted the market up is more or less like a Faustian bargain, and eventually that's going to come home to roost, and they're going to blame the people who created the problem rather than the politicians. Which
but
I guess
who's
Yellen's
going
kind
to
of
put her away?
I don't know.
Who's going to call her out on that? Like they've been doing.
It was kind of more of a joke than anything, but like it was kind of more of a joke than anything. But if we do have some sort of like event, people are always going to be looking for something to blame. Maybe she doesn't get arrested, but she'll definitely be testifying in front of Congress.
Check your likes.
You know what I love? I love when they took CZ out of Binance and everybody shut the hell up about it. Nobody said, "Oh, Binance collapsed." Oh, Binance.
What do we think about
Horrible.
BNB? What do we think about BNB in relation to Bitcoin? What is actually a better question? What does BNB Bitcoin look like?
I don't know, man. All I can think about is non-fat dry milk futures. So
water.
That's
water.
That's the reality we're living in now.
Non-fat dry milk futures, is that real?
Yeah,
Bro,
it's real.
Bro, where did you even find that?
I just typed in commodities and
People
started
trade
killing
that?
them. Yes, bro. Clearly.
Bro, who's out here trading dry milk futures?
I don't know.
Unbelievable, man. Oh, guys. You really did it today. Look at this. They want the commodity. It's not even punishment anymore, man. They look forward to the commodities.
They wait to like until the commodities come on.
Dude, they stiff arm us by refusing to like until we show the commodity charts. All right, guys. Here's the deal. Tanner says he's balls deep in the dry milk. He's a dry milk maxi. All right, guys, here's the deal. If you're enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the stream so far, do us a solid and please consider liking the stream. It really helps us grow. It does wonders for the channel. We're at like 15,500 now on YouTube, growing like crazy, and it's all thanks to you guys. We show up every single day. We work our hardest, and you guys play an equally important role in all of that. You help amplify our voices by liking and sharing the content. So again, let's keep the ball rolling, guys. If you're enjoying the content, please do us a solid. Hit that thumbs up button. And also, for those of you watching on Twitter/X, it's so weird. I can't get used to saying on X. But anyways, for those of you watching on X, you guys have a special button. You can not only hit that heart button, but you can also hit that retweet button. A retweet is basically like 5 likes in one. So if you really want to help spread the good word, bring the discussion to more people, do us a solid. Not only hit that like button, but also hit that retweet button. But again, guys, let's run these likes up. Please consider helping support the channel. It doesn't cost anything to like. There's 240 of you watching right now on YouTube. Kind of a slow day. I feel like normally we're closer to 300. But there's 236 of you watching. That means right now there's over 120 of you that are sitting there arms crossed going, nah. I don't think I'm going to like. No, somebody else will like it. They won't. If not you, then who? If not now, then when? Oh man, he said
Who's
you don't
gonna
deserve the
carry
likes.
the likes?
Dude, Lawrence. Come on, man. We deserve a
Lawrence,
couple.
what do you want to see, man? What do you? I don't understand. Like what?
What is bro waffling about?
Yeah, what is bro waffling about, man?
Damn. All right, here we go. Thank you, Jason. Okay, fine. I like. Thank you, Jason. What is this, Tucker?
Oat futures.
How about we do diet soda next time? Diet soda futures.
I don't know if
Um,
they have that
Oat
on here.
futures.
I'm sure they do.
Dude, look at that trend line. I would probably wait to buy oats until a little bit lower, but then go to your grocery store, buy as many oats as you can, and then
Yeah.
look to sell those oats at a premium maybe in the coming few weeks.
Yeah.
You see that spike there on oats? That's me.
Tucker, do we have
That's me.
do we have goat futures?
This is what you got to do, guys. You got to come over here. You got to go to futures, agriculture. That's important. Agriculture. Put
I'd
in
like
agriculture.
goat. Do we have goat futures?
We got live cattle. Obviously, we have
That's
live
pretty good.
cattle.
That's pretty good. Yeah. But
But
do we have like anything really exotic?
Live cattle is alpha. Do
I
not
don't know
give
what
live
rough
cattle.
rice is, but we got rough rice.
Anything else?
Do rice. Rice
Hang
is
on,
the
hang on.
alpha.
Keep going. I want to see all of them.
All right, let's see them all.
Let's keep scrolling here.
Oh my god, there's a ton.
Azuki Red Bean. What was that?
Giramini.
No, down one more. Azuki
Red.
Red Bean futures.
Oh, there's a few contracts. It's Japanese.
This is the most bullish Azuki chart in any market. Yes, I'm funny, man.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Maybe not.
They don't even have a.
Man.
What do I have to be on? Do I have to be on a second chart?
Look at Barry.
Oh wait,
No,
no.
it's over,
Wait,
bro.
look at this. Pull up alligator breast milk future.
Still more bullish.
Barry.
The NFTs.
Barry's man. Barry's hilarious.
Yeah, man. I don't
Oh.
wonder if there's any other good stuff.
Oh man, you guys are funny. All right, we got 138 likes. Let's get back to the discussion.
All right, here's Giramini futures. All right, never mind. I wanted to pull up ENA because
There is no second best, guys.
FUD,
There is no second best.
There's some FUD. Oh wow, look at that. The weekly chart looks good. That's the market cap chart.
I mean, it's starting to mimic Luna, like you said.
No Luna. Wait a second. I need the USD.
Bro, it's starting to look like Luna. There we go.
Wow, this was actually prime time that this happened. Hagrid closed long right here.
I know exactly what I would compare this chart to personally, but I'm not going to share that alpha.
I know it. I see it. I know it.
Yeah.
I
mean, realistically, it should be bottoming here. If it doesn't, then
I know which chart you're talking about too, Tommy. Does it start with a D?
no, 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 not that one. Oh no, not that one. But
oh yeah, look at it. You know, you can see it. It starts with a D.
Tucker,
Yeah.
would you pull up Solana? Because Solana this morning was looking maybe questionable at best.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at it this morning too. I think
looks okay.
I mean, it looks okay, right? It doesn't look any worse than like. I mean, it looks a little bit worse than Bitcoin, but like just this move down, right? Like ETH. So, I mean, it doesn't look terrible in comparison, but yeah. Doesn't look great though. I will agree.
Well, see, here's the thing. Like, what I appreciate about that most recent high that was set is that if we get back above it, we're gonna rip. Okay, we're gonna rip. If it's bearish, that high should not be breached. But obviously, if we continue to break down, then this is a lower high, and we probably go back to take out the low there at like 120. But again, if we end up back above that most recent high of 160, give or take.
Yeah.
If we get back above 160, we're gonna go much higher. So it's kind of like it's a weird spot. Like I don't know if I have enough conviction to say, exactly what I think is going to happen. I'm just kind of waiting to see. I'm not selling anything here. I'm not de-risking. I'm certainly not going to be shorting here. Like the de-risk spot in theory was 160 if you wanted to do that. There's a nice kind of like underside retest, FVG fill.
Yeah.
But I could also see this just like the bears not having enough strength to push this thing lower. And then eventually we just start like grinding higher as shorts close, So I could see that 160 level getting flipped. And I'm telling you, if that 160 level gets flipped, it's going to go a lot higher. So I like it. But I mean, just right now,
range out down here.
Sorry, say that again, Tommy.
I'd like to see Soul carve a range out, like a multi-week, multi-month range, maybe like 6 week.
6 weeks. Whoa.
I mean, look, I think about like you have to consider the magnitude of the wipeout that a lot of these altcoins just experienced, not just from like a market structure standpoint, but to be able to build up the requisite open interest to trend higher again. Not just longs coming back in, but you need shorts and skepticism to build up over time as well.
I don't know if you do. Like Solana is just one of those. It's a really good momentum indicator, and when momentum is low, it goes low. It just is what it is. There's no TVL backing Solana. Like nobody cares to like put money over there and keep it over there. They're looking to get it. I don't
know if I agree with that, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fact check you on that.
There's no opinions about it. It's factual. It's factual.
I don't know if that is factual. I don't think that's factual.
You want me to pull up TVL? It's 100% factual.
Yeah, but we've also gone over before
how
TVL.
Tron and AVAX have higher TVL than Solana. Come on now.
I know, but I think using TVL first of all as a indicator
it is a show of strength of liquidity that wants to stay. That's what it is. Tommy, do you agree with that thesis?
That Soul showing strength is better for
TVL.
It's a momentum indicator.
He's talking purely TVL.
That Tommy. TVL is a show of strength of trust of the network.
I am not a big proponent in TVL, to be honest with you. I see Nomad FUD TVL like every week. Well, I don't really like it as a metric.
No, I'm not saying use it as a metric. I'm saying use it as a way to tell, do people trust the network or not trust the network?
Wait, you said, okay, so how much people TVL?
So what I mean by trust, I'll explain trust. What I mean by trust is like, do people think that if everything was to end tomorrow, would they be okay with riding it down?
No, people will jeet their Solana, but I think you would agree things are not going to end tomorrow. Most likely will. So
correct.
So it's kind of an unfair question, right?
No. So I made a point, and then you guys tried to debunk it. But my point was that
no, you said there's no TVL on Sol.
No. I was saying why it's a volume indicator. That's what I was saying. I was saying this is
Sol is this cycle's risk on indicator. That's what it is. Sol is this cycle's Ethereum. Like last cycle, I think we spent a lot more. There's a lot more emphasis on ETH strength against Bitcoin and ETH strength against whatever. I feel like this cycle, it's Sol. Sol led off of the bottom. It pumped the hardest. It even right now, it's been one of the better performers. I think the worst thing for Sol right now is that people got too carried away with just dropping Sol shitters and too many rug pulls happened. People will forget about that though. That's the thing. Like, give it like a couple of months. No one will remember any of that drama. Like people have short-term memories in crypto, So I think Sol's going to do just fine. I still think Sol's going to do really well, but I mean, yeah, man, it's your degen chain this cycle. Like people are literally just dropping like super offensive shitcoin names on Sol and they're rugging, and it leaves a bad taste in people's mouth. It turns off, in my opinion, serious capital. But in the heat of a major bull market with Bitcoin ripping above 70 or 80K, I don't think people don't really focus on that anymore. When people are making money, nobody asks questions. So people just need to start making money again. Markets need to curl up, and then Sol rips.
Wait. But okay, Will, you said Sol has no TVL or very low TVL, right? Correct.
Very low. Yes.
What you said? Who has more TVL? Sui? Is that what you said?
No, I didn't say that. So it's a new network. I said Tron has more, which nobody even uses Tron.
People use Tron all the time for Tether.
You get what I'm saying, Tommy. Don't try and be smart about it. You get what I'm saying.
Sol has
Nobody is
about
over there
4 billion
actively.
in TVL.
They're like, hey guys, check out
right?
this project on Tron. Nobody says that. Absolutely nobody.
But what I guess, I guess it comes down to the question, like what you consider DeFi adoption to be. Do you consider it a network that people are consistently using for stablecoin payments, or is it, Ponzi X or Y built on Ponzi chain Z?
Well, I don't. Here's the thing: Ethereum is like a network of like Ponzi and non-Ponzi and like utility and like a bunch of things, right? So we'll use Ethereum for instance, right? And then you got Tron.
There you go. Will.
And Tron is just
you go. It's over. It's over. You're cooked. Sorry, I had to do it to you. Hang on.
I said AVAX. Nobody cares. Anyways, moving forward. The point being, okay, pull up Solana. Just go to
this
the top.
This is the
there.
order. This is the order right here. ETH,
Yeah,
Tron,
no.
BSC.
There's a pie chart you can use. There's a literal pie chart.
Okay, well, it doesn't. I mean,
upper left, all the way upper left. It just makes it easy. Where it says, overview. Yeah. Try that one. No. There is a pie chart for this.
All right. Well, it doesn't matter. This is the order of.
Yeah, but look at where Sol is.
Yeah, it's behind Binance and Tron and ETH.
Yeah, nobody uses Tron.
I mean, people do use Tron for USDT.
Come on, bro. A stable coin? Really?
I mean, that would be more so calling out Tron for having phony TVL than, you know what I mean, than the opposite.
Base is about to be up there. Arbitrum. I will say that Solana did flip Arbitrum. Arb was fifth. So I give them props for that. But Arb is still look at Arb's trend and look at Solana's trend. Arb is really strong, and it's been holding really strong as an L2. Base is an L2, and you got essentially two L2s that are basically peaking up on Solana, which is an L1. But when I looked at this in the bear, you could see it right there at the bottom. There was no TVL, absolutely zero. Nobody was holding any type of Solana on network and staking it. There's a little bit now, so I'll give them props on that because I haven't looked at it in a little while. But outside of that, it was way down there on TVL. But the point being is, it's not poking at Solana's TVL specifically. It's more poking at what Solana does or what it's used for in a bull run, and it's volume. It's one of the best volume indicators in the entire bull run, from what I've seen since last cycle. So like when volume comes, volume hits Solana like a freight train, right? Like Solana just runs with volume. And then when volume pulls out, then Solana pulls back hard. That's more or less what I was trying to get to, right? Is that volume is the majority of what Solana is, and not really staking and so on and so forth. And I think we'll see that in the bear again. I think in the bear you'll see all these stakers pull out. You'll see this thing absolutely get annihilated again, and it'll be another volume monster coming out of the bear run. I think anybody thinking anything other than that is going to get wrecked. You could draw a trend line even across the bottom of all that right there, Tucker.
Yeah.
Like you got a solid trend kind of holding in place since the lows.
TVL is more of like a peak of the asset type of thing, is what I will say about that. Like you typically see TVL surge after the token has pumped because people are leveraging against tokens that have created wealth effect for one, and obviously price appreciation on the native token is going to bring more speculators to your chain.
Guys, do
Yeah.
we want to oh no, go back. We want to FUD.
Lawrence, I live in Vegas.
guys
Come
wanna
tell me that to
FUD?
my face.
Tucker.
You guys wanna
Whoa.
FUD?
-$2. Tucker, you need to relax, bro. Isn't
I
like
know.
half your portfolio in spot?
I know.
Sol?
I own a ton of Sol. I'm not
Max,
saying
are
this
you
is gonna
gonna
happen, but
you gonna buy me a steak? If it
I mean, that
goes
steak was
to
delicious.
zero
It tasted even better because it tasted like victory. Who in the comments remembers our bet from a long time ago? Me and
Very
Bob.
few people from Market Check right now probably remember that bet.
Oh, I
That was a
remember.
long time ago. That was
That
a
was.
long time ago. That was
And it's even funnier too because Sol is like my favorite coin to trade now, but I fudded it so damn hard.
because we were doing it back when Sol was at like $15. That's when we made the bet, I'm pretty sure.
Or like $20.
It was somewhere in that bottom range. Yeah, that's like the OGs that remember that, man. That was before anybody cared, man. It was just kind of like a small little niche group. We probably had like 3,000 or 4,000 subs on YouTube. There'd be like, 40 to 50 people watching every day. And we just got so bored, we started betting each other. We started giving each other like naked call options and put options. Just making bets. Even though we could easily just short the market, we just decided to bet each other instead.
No, it was fun times for sure. I will say this though too, Lawrence, put away the keyboard. You know where I live. Come see me.
Catch me outside. How about
Catch me outside.
that? Oh man.
no, I think Sol's fine, man. I think Sol's fine. Yeah. Bitcoin doing anything today?
I mean, it's we swept on a lower time frame what happened with Bitcoin this morning, and here's some like low key alpha because they've been doing it. They've
Dude,
done it so many times over the
yes,
last
bro.
week.
This was the equity market open was right here.
They dump it into the open or like 30 minutes before the open. Everybody who shorts then gets obliterated probably like 10 or 15 minutes after the open. And then you find out, because I want to say the flows to buy Bitcoin come in like right after the open. So it makes sense that we kind of squeeze right after that. But you can tell if we're going to trend higher by the way the market accepts the first like 30 to 45 minutes when we pump like that and squeeze shorts. Because if we show strength and obviously hold, it doesn't look like a swing high. We have the potential to trend aggressively higher as we've seen. But this morning, what we did, we swept some lower time frame highs and then we sold off. So it was just, honestly, this morning was just kind of like a textbook. If you were showing somebody what liquidity games look like, I would show them this morning. On a lower time frame, it was kind of textbook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, look at Ha's comment, bro. Remember, I think we talked about this. Didn't we talk about this?
Hmm?
Ha, his name's Ha in the comment section.
I got the algo turned on, man.
I did see that, the post that he's referencing. I don't know that the conditions are quite there. I like from a volatility standpoint, I think we're slowly getting there to have something. I mean, for one, we'll probably never have a day where the S&P is down like 25% in a single day because we do have measures to prevent that from occurring. We have talked about that a very long time ago on this show, but the main thing that I would highlight about 1987 is, for one, it was caused because, portfolio insurance and hedging was kind of, especially like through the internet, was becoming, or at least through like automated systems, was becoming much bigger. So the tail risk was increased by what people like derivatives that people thought were keeping the market more stable. For me, I kind of view zero DTEs and similar light. So like I can see, some similarities to that era. But the thing about 1987 that was kind of specific to that crash was that the dollar was devaluing pretty rapidly the years before that. And that put a lot of, like, when you have foreign currencies getting, with huge trends in either direction, it puts a lot of pressure on like foreign pairs and collateralization ratios for a lot of these funds. So that was a big reason why. I think you would need to see the dollar drop more for something like 1987 to happen, personally. But if we print more money and just rip higher into the election and the dollar nukes, then I would say, like, okay, then maybe I think the environment's maybe a bit more conducive for something like that. But I don't think right now is necessarily that's how I view it.
Yeah, I mean, like that's one thing, but conditions, I mean, the most important part is conditions are not the same, right? They can literally stop the stock market from selling off now. They can sit here and they'll backdoor QE banks. Like they figured out ways to stop the bleed on the bullshit that they cause. And it's just print more money. That's all it is. It's we'll print, we'll support, we'll help you get through it, even though we're not supposed to, because it's supposed to be a capitalist society. And once you get through it, you pay us back and we'll say, oh, it's a loan, so nobody should worry about it. But the loan never existed. Where did the money come from? Right? It was printed. You've already devalued our money because you're supporting a bank for money that they didn't have for irresponsibilities. Now people will argue whether it was irresponsible or not, but that doesn't matter. It was. You shouldn't have 95% of your capital sitting in bonds because you think bonds are safe. You should have, the people that have deposits in your bank, their money should be available for them to withdraw. And you should primarily be working off of money that you've made That means that if you turn a profit as a bank, you should be putting that in the bonds, not people's deposits. And I guess there's semantics to it, there's levels to it, and people can sit there and say that they should be allowed to, blah blah blah. But there's a certain amount where these banks were exceeding what is reasonable to put into bonds because they were being greedy.
The one thing I don't like about the current market, like positioning wise, is that reverse repo has been draining and liquidity's lower, and the way they're mitigating tail risk, at least from what I can perceive, is through things like derivatives and by just annihilating volatility, which, it works until it doesn't. And then when it doesn't, you have like a massive volatility blowout. But who can predict that? Who can truly predict that? I think, the only thing with the VIX to just keep in mind is, like, pay attention if volatility being elevated remains sticky. I think if you see something like that, then you can be maybe a little bit more concerned. But if they just keep nuking volatility like this, man, it's going to be hard to nuke the market until positioning just gets like so impossibly skewed in that direction that there's no other recourse, or there's some global event like COVID that forces people to buy volatility, and then everybody who shorted volatility to try and manage that tail risk, that ends up becoming reflexive to the downside, and you get COVID again. Like, I don't think that's going to happen, but I mean, this is how positioning works, right?
I'll tell you this, Tommy. The only thing I think that can nuke markets anymore, the only thing, is high inflation, because they have to step in on that, right? They have to step in on that. And I think, like, everything else is just an outlier that they can find ways to, like, put a Band-Aid on it, right? These are gunshot wounds, but we'll put a Band-Aid on it. We're going to leave the bullet in there circulating. And ultimately, eventually, these bullet wounds will kill the economy, but they're just going to keep putting Band-Aids on it to stop the bleed. But I think, like, as of right now, the only fear I have ever at this point moving forward until the bleed actually kills the body is inflation. High inflation will always be a fact that it has to be, like, kind of put under control, because it looks bad on the presidency, looks bad on the government as a whole, it looks very irresponsible to other countries. And so they'll put a cap on high inflation, but everything else is just an outlier for them. That they'll find ways to monetary, create rails of monetary, we'll say, fluctuation or loans or so on and so forth, to help support the bullshit that should be going under because it was irresponsible with funds that it had. What do we got going on here, Tucker?
We got
What are you
net
building?
liquidity, the S&P, and the reverse repo.
I mean, reverse repo looks like it's going to keep dumping.
It needs to go to zero. Yeah, we want it to go to zero.
Can you explain why we want it to go to zero?
Because
Yeah, I think people are probably going to need an explanation.
Because that'll make net liquidity go higher. What are you talking about?
Zero will make it bounce.
Dude, do you know what that? You know when I look at the net liquidity chart right there, Tucker? Do you know what I see? I see the BNB chart. You see that?
I see it.
Yeah, like
high time frame BNB bull market, like how it refused to break down. You see that? Kinda. You got to squint a little bit, but like I see that.
Yeah, I
like
do.
how it just like everyone wanted it to just like nuke lower, and it just
like if it had set a higher low here, maybe though. Right.
Yeah, so like maybe zoom out a little bit on that chart on the right, just so we can see the climb up on net liquidity. Like right there, like I kind of see it, like it's holding its like bull market range low, just like BNB did. I don't know. I mean, obviously we're stretching a little bit. That's just like what I saw in my head. So.
The funny part is, like, I remember meeting you guys, like it was still a little bearish then, and then like you guys are like, I'm shorting BNB. I'm like, don't do it. I'm like, don't short BNB.
Dude, nobody on this team.
No, none of us.
No,
Will, that's waffling, bro. That's literally you just made that up. That didn't happen.
Yeah, that did not happen.
BNB and shorting it are two different things.
No, Naka shorted BNB. Will Naka shorted BNB, and we begged him not to. That's what.
No, I'm talking about last
Will,
year.
We've talked about at length how we've all agreed to never try to short BNB because you're playing against the Godfather. We've never shorted BNB. I think I tried once, like years ago, got taken out immediately, and I was like, I'm done trading this. This is terrible. I don't trade BNB.
BNB is one of the ones that, especially when CZ was in play, man. He looked for shorts and he would just wreck them. He looked for shorts and like he's like the dangling carrot god. He will dangle the carrot to you, show you the structure break, and then take it all away. Like that's just how he is on shorts. Like I don't know how dude. I honestly think CZ is a master trader.
Well, he's literally the richest man in crypto. So yeah. He's a beast. He is crypto still, low key.
Good chance he was the richest man in the world at one point.
Probably. Well, probably not on paper. Probably like a secret paper.
Yeah, secret paper. Not anywhere that the government wanted to see.
Let's look at the I think this is an interesting question. China is collapsing economically. What does the Hang Seng index look like? Because I haven't looked at it in a really long time.
Dude, what do these guys want to know about ENA, man? I don't know what to tell you. I don't even own ENA, so I can't help you, brother. I don't know anything about
ENA. Looks like it needs to carve out a double bottom here. I will say that, or it's going to look foobar.
I don't even know what ENA is still, man. I just know Tucker literally was the bottom and then sold.
Yeah, we longed it right here and we got out like right here. I was like, you know what? I'm going to hold this thing for a year. And then I was like, you know what? That's stupid. I'm going to get out and rotate into some other stuff. So that happened. We also bought 0.75 and rode it all the way up and then down to about here. Got out, long, close. So yeah, we played this pretty well. But I don't hold any anymore. I hold none. What were we going to look at? HSI?
Yeah, I haven't looked at this in forever.
I mean, just look at yen dollar, bro. That's the easiest way to value.
Might need to zoom out more. Yeah.
What are we trying to look for?
I don't know. I hadn't looked at this chart in a really long time, so I was kind of curious where it was trading to.
I remember we used to look at it.
What does the historic volume profile say?
Oh man, the lifetime volume profile.
I bet it's much lower.
Oh, interesting.
I was thinking it was going to be at like 10,000, like right in the middle of that.
So reclaim or full retrace who? It'll probably reclaim.
What does Hang Seng denominated in like SPX look like if you pair them against each other? I feel like that's maybe some signal.
Oh man, down only.
Yeah, that's
Patriots are in control.
Patriots are in control.
You guys got to run yen dollar if you're going to run Chinese at all.
Oh
Wow.
man.
What do you say, Will?
You got to run yen dollar if you're going to
Yeah,
run.
I want to look at that. I saw somebody mention that in the comments, and I want to say the dollar's been chatting against the yen the last few days.
Yeah, which
This
is pretty sad because the dollar looks weak.
It's going to zero, man. JPY USD.
it's
not
going to
USD,
retest
JPY.
the listing price, the MEXC listing
The
price. there on the
listing
left.
price, bro.
Let's look at it. Yeah. There it is.
That looks
Like-
horrendous.
You know what it is, though, right?
70.
The U.S. government giveth, the U.S. government taketh away. This is what happened.
Oh man. Yeah, they had their what was the ceiling they had on it? Was it supposed to be 150, right?
This is bricks in action.
It was supposed
is
to
what
be
it is.
150. There was like yield curve control.
Yeah.
in
The yield
place,
curve control was 150.
and I think it just got jeeted.
And they tried to
Sell wall
stuff it.
removed.
They tried to stuff it and they
They
said
were
whatever.
spoofing, they were spoofing asks, and they pulled them. They
Yeah,
didn't
they
mean it.
literally did pull them.
This is why I was telling people, Max, that the whole bricks conversation was a joke. It was a literal fucking joke. And now people are learning the hard way.
Many such cases.
You guys like this profile picture?
Dude, imagine having sold a puppet with a hat and a Bitcoin shirt.
Could never be.
I cannot
me.
imagine letting go of a grail like that, man. I just cannot.
Dude,
A
that is
grail.
the paper hand of a lifetime right there.
I could
I
round trip
know.
my puppet back like 95% lower, and I would still hold on to that damn thing.
It's the future of finance. Unironically, they're basically punks, but for Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's real.
They're timeless, you know? It's like they're never going out of style.
Since we're charting the USD JPY, should we just go ahead and chart CPI as well? Not that I have any alpha to share. I'm just I'm genuinely curious to see what it looks
Well, we
like.
could look at like CPI and expand it and look at like oil and copper.
Wait, no,
You
what am
know.
I doing? US.
Up only.
What is it?
USIRYY, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
year. Oh, we got some charts.
Oh
We
man,
got some
look at
draws.
what you've seen, the retest. Tucker.
Wow. The
This is, I
bullish
mean, this will be
resets.
bullish for markets until it's not.
Yeah.
Are we literally in the 70s again, guys? Are we
Yes.
gonna see some bullshit like that? Dude,
Or
that
we're
would
at
be
68.
crippling if we did that. Oh my gosh.
I
We
mean,
can't do
here
that.
we nuked through it, and then can you take a bar chart of a line? No.
Wait, yeah, click on it. Double click on it.
The
Put it
one
in
time
line.
you can say,
Put it in
unfortunately,
line.
the Patriots are in control.
Now, Tucker, put it in line. So mode down right there. Put it in line.
Line close. Yeah, there it
There you
is.
go.
Wow.
So they celebrate that they get their 2%, and then boom,
Is it
straight
possible
up
bid.
inflation led to
Yeah.
dump lower though?
He bid
Dude,
everything.
that would be
Hold
crippling.
on. Did you
did
pull
that.
up the yuan or the yen?
What?
The yen.
Oh, I wanted to see the yuan, bro. I thought we were looking at the yuan.
Why did you
pull
want
up-
to see the wand?
Tucker, pull up SPX below this, bro.
Chinese,
leave that up.
bro.
Pull up SPX below this, and just put it on a new pane. Put it in log mode so we can see it.
Man,
you're-
that chart looks insane, not on log.
So what happened? So maybe bring it up so we can actually see the price action. You know, like expand it up.
So you want
No,
the
no.
70s?
So compress your SPX chart.
Oh,
Just
wait,
bring
all the way
US,
back here.
bring inflation all the way to the very top. Like squish the chart to the very top of your screen because we don't need that much. You know, we don't need that much. And you don't even need to
Oh, there it is.
spread out SPX that much. Like you could just
I mean, then you won't be able to see it. It's impossible.
so readjust inflation up top so we can see it a little bit. your axis. No, just that part. Yeah. Leave it compressed, but do that. There you go. So we can see all of it. So what happened during the 70s? It kind of looks like what we're doing now, low key, where it's just like up, down, up. That would be painful. That'd be painful. But
Yeah,
big rallies until inflation starts coming down, you know? So maybe Tommy's right. It would be bullish in the short term.
All right, do one USD.
Well, inflation is a positive catalyst for markets in the beginning.
Look at the monthly chart, bro. That's unbelievable.
Because it usually implies that we're stimulating for one, but it also, people have an urgency to buy assets to beat inflation. Like I'm sure you guys all remember the narrative in 2020 about how all of our dollars were going to be completely worthless after we printed that money. And it might not have been the reason that people were allocating, but it plays a role in the narrative. It's part of the the reflexivity of markets. Narratives reinforce price, and price reinforces narratives on the way up and on the way down.
Look at that 100%. Chart, man.
That is the most insane chart I've ever seen, man.
Dude, everyone wonders why our parents have so much money, like our parents' generation.
They were literally just aping.
They literally just got jobs like in the 60s and 70s and then just put it into retirement accounts and woke up and then just fell asleep for 30 years and woke up super rich.
Can somebody, Tucker, can you put the Bitcoin 2017, 2018 cycle on the S&P monthly?
Oh, man, this is a Friday conversation.
This is a Friday conversation.
This is how you know, because the market's just ranging, not doing anything. And we're just charting like CPI and global net liquidity.
Massaging, Tucker.
Okay, wait, what do you want exactly?
All right, can you go to the Bitcoin 2017 to 2018 cycle? Basically what we were looking at yesterday. So you're going to need the bit stamp.
I'm going to get rid of this. All right.
Okay. I'm requiring some serious massaging skills here.
All right, now you want
no log.
No log.
No log. Let's go to the daily time frame.
You want the S&P on the same or on another pane?
No, I want you to get a fractal of the Bitcoin 2017 to 2018 cycle, and I want you to put it on the S&P like monthly charts since the 80s. Something really absurd.
So all right, where do you want me to
take it from the beginning of 2017. Like the very beginning of 2017.
To the top?
Yeah. You can do the bottom too if you want. It'll just be harder to massage.
Okay. No. Let's just make it SPX. No. Regular. Okay.
Yeah, don't put it on log. It's not going to work if it's on log.
A bunch of log haters. You guys just can't help yourselves.
Well, if it's not on log,
I gotta
zoom out to the monthly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
My God.
I'm gonna just start calling you guys Naka.
Wait, we need this.
You guys don't use log.
Yeah, we need this in bars. Let's make it like that. 45. I mean, oh goodness gracious.
Oh my God, man.
Dear. Good enough.
What have we done?
Higher.
The melt up. The melt up. People talk about the melt up. The melt up's been occurring for multiple decades, bruv. Holy cow. But yeah, probably. I mean, you could probably massage realistically that first consolidation too, where those, you could probably draw it even higher if you wanted to.
Yeah, but you're talking like decades more of time. Like
yeah. This just for fun.
Look at it from like 08.
The point being is we talk about our parents shoving in from their jobs. We have the same opportunity. Like we do. As long as you're an investor, you know,
absolutely
bro,
not.
Max,
I would push back on that.
Max, do you remember our Apple discussion?
Will, you are our parents, bro. You're old.
Look,
Will was shoving back here.
Do you remember our Apple discussion, Max?
Remind me, we talk a lot.
All right. So remember when you told me you saw Apple at like 1 trillion and you're like, this thing can't go up much more
I
than
was
this?
driving to Chicago with a friend, and I was watching Apple hit and cross over 1 trillion in market capitalization for the first time. No company had ever done that before. And I remember thinking to myself, like, man, like this is going to take so long to hit 2 trillion. It just took like 3 decades for it to go from 0 to 1 trillion. And then a matter of like 2 or 3 years later, it went up to 3 trillion. So yes, I do remember. That was crazy. Like looking back on that. I actually have a screenshot on my phone. I took a screenshot on my Thinkorswim app when I saw it hit 1 trillion for the first time. It's crazy. I remember that. Yeah. So you're right. Things can change really quickly, but I also think that our parents got in on like the decollateralization of the dollar at the perfect time, where we really shifted our economy to like a debt-based and debt collateralized one, which allowed for infinite government spending and economic stimulation to be used as a political tool. And eventually there is going to be a day of reckoning for all of that. Like Tommy says, the Faustian bargain that's been made for not just this administration, but the past 5 administrations. And I think that that's going to happen during all of our lifetimes while we're in the midst of our careers. And I don't know when it is, but I don't think we have the luxury of riding the S&P for 5 or 6 decades like our parents did and seeing the same type of gains. I mean,
there's always depreciation. I mean, they had depreciation from their predecessors too. Think about that. I mean, the point being, if you were to cut the chart here and zoom up any area of the chart, even the 1980s, let's say you cut it down there at like 2000, right? Let's say that just like do a replay all the way up to 2000, and then just zoom the chart straight up.
$20 in the 50s. $30. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their parents could have bought it for like 10, but the difference there is not like,
okay, what is it there?
80.
Okay. That's
it didn't really go parabolic until what, the 80s.
All right, so how many X's did they get?
A lot.
I mean, nobody's probably alive really from. I mean, not many people are going to be alive from early 50s and earlier.
All right, here, hang on. I mean, this was the 70s. It was like 70.
Yeah, if we go 70s, 80s, we can go in there.
I mean, what, 75x?
All right, so that's actually not that much at all if you think about it in crypto terms,
brother.
No.
You're talking about full porting the
S&P 500. Will that's
75x?
All right, so let's stack that again. Let's say you have depreciated values.
You think this is going to happen? You think we're going to go 75? That's what I'm saying, though.
So draw it down maybe 55, 68. That's still immense wealth. That's immense wealth, regardless of how you look at it.
This chart is also reflective of like
this is passive flows,
technological revolutions that don't come around every decade. You know,
AI.
Yeah. So this
electric cars, self-driving.
This chart is reflective of a technological revolution, basically going from like zero technology to where we're at right now. Like, I don't think the best times are ahead for this chart. Like, I'm bullish on it, but it's not going to present the same type of returns.
Max, look, the thing that people are missing the plot on, and they're completely missing it on, is technology moved from a technological age of very few technologies to a lot of technologies, and now so we moved from a hardware technology. Now we're moving to a virtual software technology advancement. And I think a lot of people are not recognizing that. Like this revolution is different from prior, but it's still a revolution that's just the same as the hardware revolution. Software is advancing so fast that we are going to have real, genuine AI. We are going to have real, genuine cars that can drive themselves, bro. Like self-driving taxis in New York is going to be absolute insanity. Electric cars are still being developed and are not fully like flushed out yet. Like the technological advances that can come from this decade, from this age, is I think is immense, man. But like I watched this though from 2000, like I was already out of high school in 2004. So I watched the advancements move from '04 to '08, and then '08 get crushed, and then '08 to 20, and so on and so forth. And our technological advancements from 2000 has all been hardware based, have all been like mechanical based, right? Now we're moving into software and advancing the brain. Think about Neuralink, right? That is far beyond most people's expectations. Most people are like, I'm not going to do that. But in 10, 20 years, you'll probably see a lot of people with it, regardless of whether people think it's feasible or not. It will be feasible at a certain point. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm saying, like, people need to open their minds and understand, like, you still have a lot of potential from here, from a software advancement standpoint. I think it's just a different step.
I would say the optimistic view is that innovation and tech are still capable of creating plenty of value within society. And I think there is precedent for it, right? Like, I mean, Japan, obviously, in the wake of their massive asset bubble crash in the 90s, basically ever since then, they've kind of taken this approach where they just print a ton of money, which is why their currency is kind of becoming worthless, or already is essentially. But to combat the hyperinflation with value, at least, and it's been a while for their index. The one thing I will say though, that's like the index has struggled to make new highs since they've started doing this, but they print money and try to outpace it with rapid innovation. And I do think that is probably the bull case for something like the S&P or the NASDAQ to just, I don't think it's going to pull like a 70x in our lifetimes, but, to continually appreciate. Yeah, I think that's the bull case. The bear case, I think, is kind of tethered more so to population growth dynamics, which does seem like America would need to kind of incentivize people to have more children in order to keep the boomer Ponzi going.
No, but I have a pushback for that, and I want to give this one take. The population growth issue, which is what they're actually trying to create this issue, right? By confusing people. We don't have to get too deep into that, but they're trying to control population growth by confusing people. And in that scenario specifically, how they're offsetting that is AI and technology. They're trying to make workloads easier so less people can do them, and that's how they're offsetting population growth.
Yeah. By the way, this chart looks good. I don't know what everybody's waffling about. This chart looks good.
Looks
waffling. Like, dude, that happened above the previous all-time high. Tucker, zoom out to the left, like contextually. Like, look at that dip. Front ran the previous all-time high. Like, I guess we could go lower, depending on what Janet Yellen says. But I'm like, this doesn't look bad to me. It seemed like there was so much fear at these lows. It's like people can't understand the simple concept of a stair step and its importance to a healthy uptrend. Like, you don't just go straight up without any little pullbacks. You don't. You need to form that, that higher low. You need to. It's very important.
You know something else you don't do, Max? You don't ask where the liquidity is going to come from when you're playing in high risk and you got all the low risk shit running.
Tucker, do me a favor.
You don't ask those questions.
Do me a favor on the chart. Take out a fib extension tool. So draw a range from the high in 2021 to the low. Now add on your 1 and your 0 and your 0.5. All right.
Look at Smash's comment, bro.
5. Get rid of the golden pockets. But keep your 1.618. Keep your 1.618.
I did just overlay that.
That is going to play. That 1.618 is going to play. I'm telling you right now, that 1.618 actually has a chance of being like a serious local top. Mm-hmm. Okay. That level is going to get hammered. Me and the boys at BB will be buying puts up at that level.
Mm-hmm.
That's just going to happen. That's a real thing that's going to happen. That 1.618 is going to get hammered. But we got a little bit of time there. Actually, matter of fact, we got a lot of time there. And I also have a feeling that this chart is going to line up almost perfectly. We'll probably tag it in like August or September, right as we're getting close to rate cuts. and it's just going to be a perfect little bit of confluence of like economic data that's not so great starts pouring in. Fed is discussing and leaning towards our first batch of cuts in, you know, end of Q3 and Q4, and we're at the 1.618 on the macro time frame. It's like that's how this shit always works. I'm telling you, it's going to be right there.
Yeah, but I mean, none of that really matters. What matters is the chart. When the price gets there, just short it. That's it. It's that easy.
We got
Run it
another
up,
10%
then
to
short.
go. Probably another, August, September, 110 days, 100 days from now, 10%.
100%.
Hammer it.
Put
But we
the
should-
effective federal funds rate down below, man. Just throw it on there. Like that shit's
What we
gonna
should really be talking about is how the S&P is going to 40,000 by 2055.
what?
Look, I don't know. Look, Cyberpunk 2077. I will say this. All right. Smash had a question. He said, "Is there a bright side to getting your entire account liquidated?" Just chalk it up to cost of entry. Okay. Just chalk it up to that. Chalk it up to the
literally.
game. Run it to your tax person. Tell them you need a lot of discounts on your taxes, and you're good to go.
I did make the comment yesterday in the Discord. I said, how can you as a man let another man liquidate you?
Pitbox, we did give alpha. We basically stated that, at least I'm pretty sure this is what I gathered, and if you guys have a different feeling, go ahead. But we're probably going to chop sideways. Like there's not going to be a lot of alpha going into the weekend as far as like, you know, how you should be or what you should be. But like I am positioning heavily. Not that my positions really matter to a lot of people, but I am positioning pretty heavily in risk. I'm looking to play some memes, play some L1s that are gonna, you know, probably do really well into the bull. I think this is a buying opportunity going into a secular bull run, and I think that's all you need to look at it as. And you can stair step lower for sure. You could drop down into, we talked about this 59K pretty easily. But outside of that, you know, there's just nothing that we can do. We can't be like, oh, go buy Andy, go buy Pepe or whatever, like, because if Bitcoin drops, they're gonna pull back with it. So
Can we look at the yield curve? Like can we look at the 10 and 2 or like the no, Tucker, no. Relax, bro. Relax.
He asked for the alpha. This is
Relax, bro.
You gotta set this
There
up,
you go.
man.
Yeah,
You gotta set this up.
There you go.
I think you can draw the short target lower personally if that's gonna break, but
Sweep, brother. It's just a sweep. Tommy's literally probably got this on his chart.
bruh.
Not that low, but like, I mean,
okay, wait, Max.
Tommy
You
enjoys
know what?
poverty.
we can wick to mid 50s, man. I mean, I don't know why that's so scary.
That's scary, Tommy. That is scary.
Tommy, I remember 22K.
Precious altcoins.
I remember 22K. I don't think it ever came to fruition.
Hey, man, I remember when we were never going below like 28K again, and then we nuked to 25.
I remember 22K.
Tommy.
Never happened.
You were in huge shorts. I remember that. Remember the space? We were live on Spaces, and the nuke finally happened.
That was like the fastest.
Yeah.
That was the fastest perp trade profit I think I've ever like velocity of profits, the fastest I can remember.
I have one that actually you might remember that I think you hit it really nice. You were short a bunch of different altcoins, and you took a nap, and you woke up and like all the alts you were in shit the bed for like no reason. It was like maybe a curve related thing, and it was like 2 hours, and you probably just, I mean, I remember. Do you remember that one? I
do, because that was when Bitcoin was like 1% down and altcoins were literally down to 25%.
Yeah, it was very weird, is what it was. Like there was no good reason why the alts nuked that hard. That one was really quick too. But yeah, that
one was weird because I did take a nap, and then I wasn't even trying to take a nap. I think it was just late at night. I was staying up, and I woke up like an hour later, and my trading account was much higher than I remembered it being.
I remember look, because I wasn't in that one with you, but I remember like a trading view alert went off, and I was like, what is happening right now? And some of the alts you were in were literally down like 25% in like 2 hours for no good reason. So I don't
Good
know.
stuff.
That one was epic too, but
There are trades that you can, and there's a lesson in that. Like there are trades that you can take in the chop, and sometimes it's, you know, a little bit, you have to be a little bit unconventional, but there are always opportunities there to take advantage of.
Yeah, but I feel like your opportunity was to short was at 75K. I feel like it presented itself multiple times. If you were looking for a short, that was the area. And I feel like your opportunity to long is anywhere in the 59 to 61 to 62 to even 63K, because I don't think you're going any deeper than that.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're looking for swing shorts at, you know, 64, 65K, you need to understand the context of where you're trading in the range, or you're going to get wrecked. Maybe even chopped up like to death, as we've seen over the last few weeks. For me, it's just kind of like contextual. You know, I kind of had the bias going into the week that you know, I wouldn't want to see a shoulder form. I wanted to see a continued grind higher. And yes, we can still see the ladder, but you know, if we do have a shoulder, I think the opportunity to trade into the 50s is definitely there. Whether we get it or not, you know, is another question. But I think, you know, when I look at the market structure on Bitcoin, I can see it, you know, I can see it. And I still think there's more leverage built up in Bitcoin than there is in altcoins. So I think there are some altcoins that would, if Bitcoin were to do that, there are some altcoins that would probably make some new structural lows, but there are also plenty of altcoins too that are just going to form higher lows. And those are the ones that you want to be bidding, like Pepe, for example. I don't think Pepe is going back to new lows.
Tucker, what are you doing here, bro?
This is what you wanted, bro. This is what you wanted.
Yeah.
Rate cuts are bad. Rate cuts are indeed bad, man.
Well, here's the thing. Rate cuts are good, but the reason why they're cutting rates is bad, right?
Yeah,
So before you start to feel these interest rate policy decisions actually work their way through the plumbing of our economy, there's a serious lag behind these decisions. Like if they cut interest rates by 25 or 50 basis points, you likely won't feel that in our economy in a real way for well over a year. Okay. So they start cutting because shit is bad, shit's hitting the fan. And then the market starts to recover a year and a half later because now it's feeling the easing that they did 12 to 18 months prior. So rate cuts are good as long as there's no serious economic deterioration. Look at that point right there, Tucker. That's a perfect example of we got, you know, two 25 basis point cuts in 2019 and the markets continued upwards. Bitcoin, you know, did move down, but the S&P 500 actually moved up. And then when we got some serious rate cuts, emergency rate cuts, because shit was breaking due to COVID, then you saw the real correction. So you need to be really careful not to blindly short or de-risk into rate cuts. You need to measure, you know, like look for the true measure of economic deterioration, not just
I
a
know, but
binary rate cut.
look at Bitcoin, man. I agree if you're in equities, but that was the Pico top of Bitcoin.
But it was also weird because that was a very reflexive move. And by the way, the rate cut there, Tucker, the rate cut happened after you have it too early. The rate cut happened like over there. Yeah. That was the actual rate cut. So it wasn't the Pico top of Bitcoin. It was close. But what actually happened here was I think Bitcoin's move was more of a reflexive bounce off of that capitulation it had in early 2019 down to, you know, 3K. And a snapback. That was more of a technical rally in June of 2019 rather than any Fed induced, you know, rally into obviously a pullback. So I think because of that weird drop, you saw a much more aggressive buyback into June of 2019 for Bitcoin. So I think it's a decent example, but I wouldn't look at Bitcoin there and say Bitcoin is going to necessarily lead the S&P 500 into risk off because of rate cuts. I just look at that as the floor gave out on Bitcoin. We had an aggressive snapback, and it just kind of happened to line up with, you know, that little mini Fed tightening to pause to cut cycle that we had.
Yeah,
That
that's the
for
only
Bitcoin is more
example.
reflexive.
That's
What's
the
that?
only example for Bitcoin
I know.
in history.
We have to use it. Like, it's good. I just don't think it's I think that again, I think that the reason we peaked so early on Bitcoin was because of the reflexive nature of the reason we climbed up that hard in the first place. You know, who's out here taking
Who's
screenshots?
screenshotting? Will?
I'm posting or I'm screenshotting the S&P schizofractal that I drew, and I'm going to send it to you guys. It's kind of wild.
Jesus. Of course you are.
Yeah, man.
All right, bro. That's about as much macro as I can handle in one morning.
Read.
Yeah.
All right, Lance, you want to take us out, brother?
Yes, I can. Thank you guys again so much for being here. As always, this definitely, I know I said yesterday had a bit of a Friday flavor to it, but today definitely did, man. Today definitely felt like a Friday where we just kind of talk about whatever is on the top of our minds. I mean, obviously the market is kind of chopping. You can look at Bitcoin volatility, the historical metric, and you can see that it's literally fallen off a cliff over the last week or two. So kind of reflective of where we're at the moment. So we hope you guys enjoyed the show nonetheless. Real quickly to plug a few things before we wrap up. As you guys know, we did just release our BB Academy. You can get educational content from every single trader on the team, as well as kind of our unique approaches to the way that we view the market. So if that is something that interests you, we do have that available for the discounted price of $199 currently, linked in the description of this YouTube, as well as through our website and Twitter. To touch on our programming, guys, if you enjoyed Market Check, never been here before, I know we got a lot of people in here who have been regulars for, you guys have been with us really for the entire journey. So it's great to see that some of you guys are still here and enjoying the show. If you are new, Market Check is a daily show. We have it every single weekday, typical start time around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, as you guys can see, we kind of talk about whatever's on our mind, whatever the charts are kind of communicating to us on a given day, whether that's macro, whether that's crypto, whether that's meme coins. It's just going to take on the flavor. And we also have our flagship show. We've always got some really exceptional guests on that show. And the flow of the show is always going to be, kind of driven by the type of guests that we have. And it's similar to Market Check in that can always take a different flavor. They can talk meme coins, they can talk macro, but like I said, it's going to be dependent on who we got the speakers on a given day, and a lot of that is going to be dependent on what the market conditions are. So, yeah, don't get chopped up, guys. Don't get chopped up. Stay safe. Obviously, I think we all have expectations of where we think we're going here over the next few years, but there's nothing like a range to make you really focus on the granularities of what's happening in price, right? But that is it from us, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your week, a fantastic rest of your day. Of course, we will be back on Monday to break down everything. I'm sure, I can't, maybe something happens on the weekend. Usually something doesn't. But if something does happen, if we get any weekend volatility on Bitcoin, I'm sure we're going to be up. We're going to be here bright and early on Monday to talk about it and give our thoughts. But yeah, y'all stay safe this weekend. And thanks again for tuning in.
I'll do this because Tucker's off. There we go.